As a center, we pushed boundaries and created awareness about the economic community
If you are an
of
ECOWAS
West
citizen,
Africa
you can
states.
settle in another ECOWAS country. You need not apply for residency.
Charter, under which the AES exists, created the AES as a collective security arrangement within another collective security arrangement. That was untenable.
Peace and security was agenda was injected into the integration project.
This is the Center for Community and Oceanic Law. Here is a 2025 recap of our webinar sessions on ECOWAS.
From the divorce into the ECOWAS and the ECOWAS 12 and the AES 3, to lose one member state can be an accident. To lose 4 member states is absolutely reckless. Something is wrong and it's got to be addressed. Whatever it is, what we now have, now ECOWAS was something unique in Africa at the time that by the way, it's Article 6 of the Litako-Gurma Charter. Article 6 of the Litako-Gurma Charter, under which the AES exists, created the AES as a collective security arrangement within another collective security arrangement. That was untenable. All that had to happen was for the ECOWAS states to refer that matter to the ECOWAS court. They failed to do so. If they had referred that matter to the ECOWAS court, we would not have had the dissolution of ECOWAS into an Atlantic Association of 12 states instead of 15 states that we have now. And
so human rights is, they have won, you know, political party is gone, the constitution is gone, they are not even talking about election. So the same with his colleague in Niger, Tieni, Abdurrahman Tieni. Tieni, okay, let me pull back to say that after Goita, Guinea, you know, as an economic bloc, regional bloc. In 1993, with the revision of the treaty, and then along the line from 1999 and 2001, 2008, peace and security was agenda was injected into the integration project, because it was then seen that even though it was an economic organization, it was bogged down for almost more than a decade by, you know, peace and security issues, starting with the 1989 civil war that broke out in Liberia, and then followed by Sierra Leone, and so on, and even in Cote d'Ivoire post-election crisis in 2010.
Free movement of ECOWAS citizens. If you are an ECOWAS citizen, you can settle in another ECOWAS country. You need not apply for residency. You have the right to establish in that country. But of course, it's not, the movement is not that seamless. And it is this challenge that has motivated people to say that the objectives of ECOWAS has failed. The movement is not a smooth ride at all. Moving from Accra to Lagos, for instance, apart from the roadblocks, there are reported cases of extortion by custom officials on the way.
On the 29th January 2025, the Secretariat of ECOWAS issued a statement confirming the effective withdrawal of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso from the organization pursuant to Article 64 of the ECOWAS Treaty. This was a sad end to a crisis that arose from the unconstitutional change of government which took place in Niger on the 26th of July 2023, and ECOWAS threat of force to restore the democratically elected government. The Mediterranean, to the Sahara Desert, to West Africa, to Nigeria and the rest of the countries 47% of these weapons were said to have come from France. And the flow of money within the economic union, the flow of money in the hands of these groups came from Western countries. The very Western countries that control the very monetary reserves, the financial reserves, the currency of many of the ECOWAS countries. Their currencies, which are supposed to be guaranteed by the reserve from the French treasury. In other words, they lacked much of ECOWAS country, lacked economic sovereignty, lacked sovereignty over their own finances, and lacked the sovereignty over their economic policies. That contradicted the very objectives, the foundational objectives of ECOWAS.
Issues would have been minimized. But another question is, let us put this in context. The Commission, according to the instruments, are supposed to be the ones to advise both the Council of Ministers and then the Authority of Heads of State. And there's supposed to be a legal department that will also be checking on this compliance with the protocol and then the instruments. What has happened is that there appears to be a disconnect. One, between what the technocrats or the civil servants are doing and what the heads of states are doing. From all indications, the heads of states have hijacked, taken over everything in ECOWAS. Maybe they are no longer listening to the technocrats or what advice they are giving. But at the same time, one would have expected, for instance, in Togo, when the President Yassine was...
Do well to give a like and subscribe to our channel.